So the fourth and the final Conjuring movie is now out in theaters. Now I've been so very excited to watch this last movie, man. So is it gonna be the last movie? Who really knows? That's what they're saying. You never really know, do you? Now obviously it's the story, or more so the end of the story, of Ed and Lauren. I think the universe will still continue. At least that's what I'm suspecting. I just literally read that the movie is actually overperforming at the box office in this first weekend, so that's pretty cool, I guess. But that's not really what we're here for. We're here to talk about this movie. Is it good? Is it bad? Did it live up to the expectations? I think before diving too heavy into that, there's gotta be said some few things about these first three movies, man. The first two Conjuring movies are absolutely incredibly out of this world. Now the difference between the first two and these last two is the first two was directed by James Wan and these last two was directed by Michael Chavez. Why James Wan is not directing these other Conjuring movies, I will never understand, bro. His touch, his magic when he does these movies are so incredible. Like he's probably one of the greatest horror movie directors out there. And I was really hoping that he was gonna come back for this last movie and just take it to a whole different level. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I don't see an issue with a movie being 2 hours and 15 minutes. I think there can be a lot done with a 2 hour and 15-minute movie. But for this one right here, this last Conjuring movie, it was just a drag. It was a slog. It felt like it needed to be an hour and 20 minutes would probably have been fine for this movie. I feel like everything that happened up until the last, I'd say maybe half an hour at the maximum. So that would basically give you about an hour and 30, an hour and 40 minutes of something that I think could have been done in like about 20 minutes time. So even less, like this movie almost feels like it should have been less than an hour. It feels like it should have been an episode of TV, honestly. This would have probably been like an incredible 40-minute episode of some sort of TV show. That's not what we got. We got ourselves a 2-hour movie, man. I have absolutely no issue with long movies, like I said, but I just feel like if you have a longer movie, you gotta do it the right way, man. And there was not enough happening. There was not enough interest or anything like that. It was really just, as plain as I can say it, it was just a drag. It's always so incredible to see Ed and Lorraine. That's always going to be incredible. That's always going to be an extra little elevation to the movie because those two characters are quite phenomenal. And I wish we were getting more movies if we could get back to the level that the first two movies are. But then at the same time, after watching Conjuring 3 and 4, I'm okay with not getting any more. There is no need to make any more. If this is the level that we're going to make these movies on, no need. Let's just stop it here and call it a day, which is what they're doing, unfortunately. I would love for James Wan to come back and do a fifth Conjuring movie, but it needs to be him doing it. No one else. It's not that there's anything wrong with this movie with the family dynamic and everything like that, because that is a powerful tool. The family dynamic of wanting to protect your family, them going through a lot of stuff, you not really knowing if you should continue staying in the world that you've been staying in, your career for Ed and Lauren, like, you know, fighting these freaking demons and stuff like that. And like he talked about in the movie, doing over 1,000 jobs. Obviously that's going to take a toll on you. So it would make sense that they are going through what they're going through in the movie, not wanting to do it anymore. But having that drag out for like an hour and 40 minutes, it's just too long. The movie is extremely sloppy. It is extremely pale. It is honestly a massive disappointment. It is never going to take away from the fact that The Conjuring 1 and 2 are some of the greatest movies ever made. I don't think it's just horror movies. I think in general it is some of the greatest movies ever made. Those movies are so freaking perfect. And everything great about those movies, none, and I mean absolutely none of it, exists in this one. If you liked the first two movies, watched the third one, and was extremely disappointed by the third one, I think you're going to be just as disappointed of this fourth one. I absolutely hate the fact that I have to say this, but this movie, it was dog shit. It's been a while since I've been this excited to watch a movie, so that's why it even hits a little harder. I've been very excited to watch this movie. So my disappointment is extreme. Maybe if I go and digest this movie for a few days, I might have a little bit better of a perspective, but for the time being, I'm kind of pissed off, man. This one could have been so much better. It's almost like they should have done this entire movie within the first 40-50 minutes of the movie and then had a whole nother thing going on afterwards. It's just one big issue of pacing, man. I'm gonna stop, bro. I'm getting too mad. I'm getting too mad, bro. I wish this movie was better.